Oh,
Welcome to Afro in the Know.
What's going on, everyone? That was the brand new intro for Afro in the Know. I put all of 20 minutes into that, so let me know what you think. But with all that being said, I'm excited here today. It's been a bit. I have not had a chance to actually go and do shit. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I haven't had a chance to do one podcast thing, and I might start doing solo podcasts and stuff like that to get people all interested in the shit again. But today's a bit different, because we're talking about something that kind of matters to a lot of people. We're talking about IGN reviews. I'm not kidding, not just IGN. We're talking about all the reviews. And to help me out with that today, I got Lazy Nerd, all the way from the TikTok land. How's it going, my guy?
how's it going?
I know this is your first time on here, so it's chill, it's conversational. That's what we like to keep it. We like to keep it as is as much as possible. There's a possibility that we might be having Captain GoofyHunter come in later, but
Awesome.
that's neither here nor there. Hopefully he shows up. If he doesn't, I'm just gonna like message him and be like, "Bitch, what the fuck?" So we'll see what's going on. Anyways, we're moving on from that. We're moving on to something way more important. When we talk about reviews, suck, right? Reviews suck. When people talk about reviews all the time, reviews suck, and I don't think reviews all suck. I'll be honest. I think reviews can be extremely helpful. Obviously, in every aspect of life, a person's review can be huge. You know what I mean? So, like, if they like something, if they don't like something, because we use other people to also judge things. So, speaking of which, we're talking about the reviews when it comes to gaming in general. And like, do gamers just hate reviews? And it's kind of a hard concept, because I think in some regards, they kind of do. Also, be sure to check out the poll that we have up as well for people saying that is when it comes to these things. Do you listen to reviews or do you not? Comment below down in the comments. Let me know what you guys have to say. I want to hear that from all y'all. Do you listen to like critic reviews? Do you listen to like user reviews? Where do you listen to them? That is down. We see this down below right here. So for those who just chilling, having a good time, and for those who also do not know, Lazy, let them know a little bit what you are about.
Well, first and foremost, I'm a dad. That's been pretty fun. Been gaming since 91. Started off with the NES. I did play Atari for a little bit, but the first home console was the NES with me, my brothers, and I. You know what I'm saying? And I've been gaming ever since. Every chance I get, I got the PlayStation 5. I got rid of the Xbox, but I still got my MetaQuest, and sometimes I access my Game Pass on my laptop when it allows me. But yeah, I'm just an avid gamer, not really professional, but from time to time I go to different tournaments or whatnot. The newest tournament that's on its way come May 21st, that whole weekend, is a Combo Breaker out there in Chicago. Looking forward to that.
Oh, I've heard about Combo Breaker. I have not actually been to it though. Like, be honest, when it comes to fighting games, I'm not great.
Oh man, well, you can still go as a spectator, and I'm telling you, it is a sight to behold. Many memories created, outstanding gaming moments created for the centuries. Like, as a matter of fact, there's another one you're probably more familiar with, Evo. I'm going to be down there in Las Vegas for that come late June. So yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. Just a bunch of people, fighter game enthusiasts, coming together, playing these fighting games and trying to find out who's the best. Competition. And man, I gotta tell you, the competition is really hot right now. Like, all these different people. Don't get me wrong, like, age ain't no but a number when it comes to fighting games, but it's nice to see the new cats coming in and putting their skills to the test.
That's fair too. It's like every generation there comes like a new group of people that come in and really go to show. So I'm excited to see, because obviously I'm as a Tekken player, um, and like a kind of a lower average Tekken player. It's cool to watch like those higher ends, even in those like Tekken King to Tekken Emperor type shit,
Oh
and
yeah.
likes to see those and kind of move on from there. I enjoy those as well. So like, but when it comes to fighting games just in general, and I think honestly, I never find a person who only plays fighting games. I don't think I've
You
ever found a
know,
person who just solely play fighting games.
that's fair because I mean, there's, the gaming industry in itself is just a variety of different genres that's out there for everybody to enjoy. It's hard to pick just one, but man, I gotta tell you, like for those who are able to pick that one, like they definitely put the time in, especially for these tournaments because we're not talking about a little bit of money here or a participation trophy. We're talking thousands of dollars for these winners. So there's some that is able to do it and they get in there and wow, it's just was it Sonic Fox, a few others. Man, these guys are just they're definitely professionals at the craft for sure.
I don't feel like what's interesting though is like I don't feel like I learn a lot from them though. Like I've watched like some of them before, and even like in like things like Smash Bros. Or like Tekken 2, Tekken as well. I don't feel like I learn much from them because like the skill gap for that is so different from where like I'm playing versus where they're playing at,
Right?
that
Yeah,
it's like it's crazy. Like you don't most of those, I don't think people realize this too, is like if you're gonna watch high up players, and I think this is true, if you're gonna watch high up players, you will be kind of shocked to see a lot of the stuff that you see on lower ends, like the high combos and all that other kind of stuff. That shit don't exist.
absolutely,
That shit don't exist.
absolutely. It's a humbling experience for sure. Like there was a point in time where I thought I was hot shit in Smash Bros. And I showed up to Evo, and it was just an expedition match. I am fighting for my life, and these guys are just chilling. Don't get me wrong, I won the match, but it was enough for me to be like, yeah. So I'm a spectator. I'm okay with that.
I'm saying, like, I went to, I've done like the, like anime conventions have tournaments, right? And I've done those anime
Yeah.
convention tournaments. I've only won once, but it was in Smash Bros. But like I wanted to play like ones like Anime Milwaukee, and those ones you get those people who come in and yeah, that's all they do. Like that's like, and
Man.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I'm only mad if I
No,
get
not at
bumped
all. I'm a
first
little
round.
envious, honestly.
I'm only mad if I get bounced first round. Like that's the only time I get upset. And
Yeah.
it's not even at the other person. Like I don't really go upset at the other person. It's just kind of whatever. It's usually for me, it is just myself. It is like I know what I'm capable of, and if I am not able to do that, it's going to sit in my head all fucking day. Like the whole, like I am, and I don't know if anybody else is like that too, but I have a tendency to it will just sit there and it will just reset. Like the whole day, it's just the same thing, and it's quite annoying. I'm not gonna lie, it's quite annoying. But when it comes to like, I think fighting games, even what's interesting for me is I want to hear the reviews for fighting games. Like I know like the new Invincible one, but I'd never want to hear them from critics. I only want
Right.
to hear them from the fighting game community. Like I don't care about the critic review score for fighting games.
No, I understand. It's like we was talking about earlier. Some of these reviews is just they're as bad as and they're as bad as Rotten Tomato reviews at this point. Like you got these critics who, in some cases, is just looking for a buck, so they're just gaining their information from all these other players, and they're just putting it all together to make one big review. Or another, and they 9 times out of 10 haven't even played the game for themselves. And then you got people who will go along with these reviews and make their decisions uh, based on what these reviews are saying, and it's like it takes away from critical thinking.
Well, I think also like for example, I always think of like G4, right? G4 when they did their reviews, I believe they had other people like playing the games, and then they would just give them whatever, and then they would just have
Right.
the
Oh,
hosts
I
themselves
miss
just
G4.
talked about it. And that's something that's really interesting because that's something that a lot of players a lot of players thought that that was Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb's reviews, but it's not. It's the people who are actually playing the game in the background. And
Right.
this also seems to be a thing as well. Is like I for me personally, like I always try to think that a lot of like critics when they get those games, right, when they get them, and you're going to give me only like a day or two to play through this whole game and try to give me like a fully like capable review of it, especially let's say you have to put in 15-20 hours because the game is longer, right? Let's say the game is long, you got to put in 15-20 hours into it. 15-20 hours, get the game down, and then get the review out. That ain't easy.
No,
Like,
it's not, and it's definitely it's definitely a respectable craft for those who actually put in the time. I mean, I was going through IGN and looking at some reviews of games I'm currently playing now, such as Crimson Desert. I'm getting back on Avengers and the Kamala Khan story. I'm not a fan of the in game content, but I absolutely love the main campaign to that game. And just trying to prepare for this and looking up these reviews that they have, and some of them that they actually put time in work really well. And I think what made G4 so special, despite some of the nonsense reviews that we got, it was built. It's about community. You know what I'm saying? So like it gave people a place where they can go and relax and talk about gaming. But at the same time, though, on the other hand, really, with the way they were doing reviews, it didn't really feel too genuine. It didn't come off genuine. With the fact that they wasn't playing the games themselves. Although there was, I remember this one of the reviews they did. It was Def Jam Fight for New York, and they actually played that game with their creative character and everything. And that whole segment of how they went through it was fantastic, fan freaking tastic on how they did that. But the other ones or whatnot, like trying to think of which game it was. Where like the review was completely off, and I actually was playing the game as my other TV was on and it was talking about it, and I'm like, I am not having these experiences that they're talking about at all.
right,
But
right, and I think that's also something that people don't really understand. Like when I look at reviews, right, when I like look at how G4 used to do their reviews, I remember a Review on the Run, which is actually a Canadian show, which I loved at the time. It was called Judgment Day over here. And
oh yeah, okay, I
I
remember Judgment
personally,
Day.
yeah, I really enjoyed that show. Went back to watch some of the episodes and stuff. Didn't find it all that amusing, but it's kind of it's semi-inoffensive.
Okay.
But what I thought was interesting was that like there was a couple times where their review I didn't understand, right? And like
Mm-hmm.
so like I looked like for example, I was Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime was one that always stuck in my head because they gave it like a 7 or 8 out of 10, something like that. And like at my time when I was oh, fucking how old was I? Like probably like 13 at the time, like 12, 13 at the time. And they were
Must
like,
be like
oh,
15 or 16.
there's too much backtracking in this game. And I'm like sitting there being like, what is too much backtracking? What the fuck going on? And I'm just like, but like that was my 13-year-old self, not my 34-year-old self. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, there's kind of a fuck ton of backtracking in that game. And like it isn't always enjoyable. And so like it was also having to see from the perspective of the reviewer what they were seeing. That's the thing. Also looking to see what they were seeing. It's why like when it came to Game Informer and it came to the games like the Madden games, for example, it never seemed like they gave them a low score. Like it always seemed like they gave them like a 6 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10 or something like that, right?
Right.
And I was always sitting there and I'm like, why are you guys always giving 6 out of 10s? Like, I think this game sucks. But then I'm like, that's also not my experience. That's not their experience. Their experience is this game is probably a game of all games.
Yeah.
Like a game of all games, and so it's no big deal to them. I also don't like the term that people keep using of like they're just paid off. Because I don't like you have to, in my opinion, if you're gonna make an accusation like that, you better fucking back it up and prove it.
And that's fair. That's fair. And that's for like, and which goes into what we mean about not liking these reviews or whatnot. You got some people who's not, you got some people who really not really what, how can I say, interested in the games that they're reviewing. We can tell by just reading, but for those who actually read the reviews, you can tell if the person actually played it or not. But then you got those
Man.
what annoys you, of course.
Yo, I'm not gonna
The
lie. You know that though too. Yeah, I'm very
Yeah, like
open
I
about
call
that.
them highlighter warriors. Like they only read like one or two sentences and that's it. Like,
Yep.
oh
They're looking for something to complain about, and like they'll look only at the score, right? They'll look at the score and be like, oh, that was it, right? That they only gave it a 6 out of 10, and they
yeah.
don't actually go into why they felt the way they felt. Like Game Informer, it's really interesting because Game Informer, for a while, I remember I would read, if I would read the reviews, I would read like they usually had them in like 3 paragraphs or 3 columns
Hmm.
because they're longer reviews. But like the lower second to like the third column is where you got into the negatives, and I was always interested to see what it is, what they talked about there, like why you not. Eventually, I stopped caring, because it was
Yeah.
just not worth my time. But it was just when I looked at like when I looked at the reviews, and I'm like, when I thought about it, for all I know, the guy next to the person who's doing this review is looking at him like, "What the fuck you talking about?" Like, I'm
I
like,
really hope that's the case. Honestly.
I think it could possibly be like the guy looking right next to him is like, bro, I gave this game like a 7 out of 10.
Where did that come from? Like, how you give a 7 out of 10?
What are you doing? And it's like, but that's his point of it, and that's the thing. That's why I when I look at reviews and how they have to review these games, because I mean, if you give me a game like Crimson Desert, and then I only get like 2 days to play this, and I'm supposed to clock in 100+ hours in order to really enjoy this game.
Yeah.
Or like even a game, like think about this. Think about a game like Persona. Like if I have to only get through, I mean, trying to get through the whole game, that game's like over 100 hours, bro.
Yeah, so a game like that you're not going to get if you're people who are expecting a review within like a couple of hours to 24 hours or a day or two is not going to get you're not going to get an actual assessment like you so yeah, absolutely. For
Mm,
those who actually take time and put time into it, like for example, the Crimson Desert review for IGN that I saw earlier. Not only was it written out, but the video they had with it was done fairly well. Like this person had to have put in uh at least what 100 hours into that to be able to come up with a review like that. It was actually fantastic. I will
mm.
bring up the website, but computer
No, it's
problems
fine.
at the
It's
moment.
fine. And this is also leads into something that I'm interested in too, is because I've seen people who are like, I don't listen to IGN scores because what I got. I don't listen to the critic scores because they're biased, and I'm like, all reviews are biased.
Yeah.
Like all reviews are gonna have some sort of bias to them. I was like, the fuck? Like, and so they're like, well, like, I'm like, you look at Steam scores, you say that the critic reviews are biased, but then you go and you look at the Steam scores.
Like they're not biased at all.
Apparently they're not biased. I don't know. Apparently they're not biased. That's wild to me.
Yeah, somebody that's going to love adventure games is going to rate an adventure game pretty high up if they're getting what they want. Um, like for example, myself personally, I don't put that much foot in the graphics. Like, don't get wrong, I enjoy graphics and everything, but if the gameplay and the story is on point, then it would be most likely a 10 out of 10 for me. But
I don't think I've ever had a game that was a 10 out of 10. I
that's
don't
fair.
like using 10 out of 10s. There's no game to me that I think I can't think of. I mean, maybe like as an adult me, maybe as a kid me, probably. But as an adult me, I don't think I've had any game that's been like a 10 out of 10.
Right.
But
Yeah, kid me for sure. Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, both like 10 out of 10.
it's like
Adult
the
me
Ocarina of
though,
Time, Majora's Mask, Super Mario 64, Mario Kart. These are all
oh.
they're all 10. They're 10 out of 10s until I lose. Like this game Mario Kart is amazing, and then you get hit with like 2 blue shells, and you're like, "Fuck it, it's a 5."
yeah, no, it's a 2. You telling me I was in first place this whole round, and as soon as I get 2 inches from the finish line, I get hit with a blue shell? No, no, bump that. It's a
Bro, I was
1.5. I'm
just
done.
playing Mario Kart. I'm doing a video ranking all the Mario Kart tracks for Mario Kart 8. and I've gotten
Ooh.
through like 7 of the tracks so far for the first video, and I ended up taking off the blue shell because I got smoked in two races. I got hit 5 times by blue shells.
Oh my god! I don't think I've ever been hit.
And
I've been hit with a blue shell and a
I got
red shell
hit
back to back, but 5
I
blue
got
shells.
hit
Holy
blue to
crap!
blue. That's how bad it was. Like boom, and then the second one came boom, and I was like, "What the fuck? That's not me. That's bullshit. Why are you doing this, bro?" Like I was like, "This is some horse shit." So
Oh, they hated you. They
they
that was all
hated
hate,
me, and I'm
no
like,
love.
I moved over to like I was like, because I was like, I can do 150 cc, but I also like I'm just trying to get through these, so I'll just drop it to 100 cc and just keep on moving. And they were like, "Nah, bitch." So eventually, I just turned off. I just turned off the blue shell. I was like, "Fuck this shit." But it's
I would have turned off the game. I'm done. There's no reason to play no
that's what
more.
I'm saying.
that's it's a rating of a 1 now. There.
Oh yeah, it's a rating of a 1. Also, speaking of which, I will not look at reviews that are like 0 or 1s. I don't think any game is like a 0 or a 1.
That's fair.
I don't really believe that games can be zeros. Like I really don't. I've never, and this is just anecdotal because it's my own experience. I've never played a game that was like a 0. Like there's no way. I've been able to find something in something. Right. The only time this game would be a 0 is if like I went to like put the disc in and it just like stole my identity.
Damn. So Superman 64, that's not a 0 for you?
Superman 64 is not a 0. Like it's a bad game. Sure. Yeah, it's not a well-made game at all. But it's
at least
not
a 2.
It's still, you can still do stuff. Is it like a 2 out of 10? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But I don't even personally, I don't like using review scores. I actually, when I talk about a game, I try to actually talk about the game first, then I will give my score at the end.
No, absolutely. It gives one, if you do use review, for those who like review scores, by giving your explanation of why you're rating a game a certain way, it's giving the meat and potatoes to, you know what I'm saying, giving your side dishes to the main course. So it gives an understanding. I can't stand those who's like, "Oh, this game is trash." Okay, well, why is it trash? Oh, well, it's just trash. That it's not telling me anything.
Well, we went through that. What was that last night? Night before? Went through that I think 2 nights ago. I had someone come in, said that Dragon Age the Veilguard was trash.
I think I got on like a little bit after that.
They never said, no hate to her, no shade to her, nothing. But she never said why it was trash. And that's definitely an issue that I have. Is like, if you are going to say that a game is trash, I think you should be able to back up your statements on why it's trash, especially when it comes to the game. If your displeasure of the game comes from things that are outside of the game, then I'm sorry, I don't take your opinion seriously. Like if I'm reading an opinion, like if I'm reading a review or listening to a review, and your review of like let's say the Avengers game, right? The Avengers game, and it's like, well, it's not the same as they look like in the Marvel MCU, and I don't know why they changed it so they don't look like that. That's not that I'm not that to me, your opinion to me doesn't kind of mean shit, because there's nothing about, like, they never said this was going to be an MCU thing. It's just like we mentioned before, if someone drops woke then and moves on, then I'm just like, that's not a review, and I don't take that as anything. I want to be very clear about what I use for a review and why I review things the way that I do. And it's because of the fact that I believe that articulation is going to be huge when it comes to actual reviewing.
Absolutely. It's like what I said earlier. Like, it's like the critical thinking aspect is very important. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's have some critical thinking with this. Everything is not just black and white. For example, like, I absolutely hate I hate Kingdom Hearts 3. Mainly because I feel like it was a lot of outside sources that kind of make the game what it was.
Like the issues with Square Enix and like
Disney
and stuff. Yeah, that makes sense.
But like, looking at the story itself, like, because I also hate parts of the story a lot as well, especially what did you call it? Let It Go, Frozen. That Frozen part, I absolutely was disappointed in that. Like legit 95% of that felt like he was looking for Olaf pieces of him.
I remember that. Like, and like every time you'd be like, "I'm over here," and you're like, I'm about to leave. I don't need this.
I just want to just burn everything. Like
I don't need this world. Like I don't need this at all. I think, yeah, and I would talk about like my things really when it came to like Kingdom Hearts, for example, like Kingdom Hearts 3. My biggest issues with Kingdom Hearts 3, a lot of it came down to stuff that I wish was in there, and I wasn't realizing, I wasn't judging it off of itself. Now there are some things I hate collections. Why am I collecting crabs? Like, why am I collecting 500? This isn't a fun gimmick. This never is a fun gimmick. I'm sorry. I don't think I've ever played a video game where I had to collect like 200 fucking things and think that's fun. It's not. Like, I remember collecting the Riddler stuff, but I also love reading about the dossiers between them, listening to all that. So I felt like even if I had to collect something in Arkham Asylum, I got something out of it.
Yeah, right? Like the Riddler games, the little mini games the Riddler had to get a lot of these trophies was on point. It was like it made you think, it made you engaged. They
don't, like, and that's the thing, they don't like when you just help me collect 500 crabs just to go run around your area in a world I've already been in. Yeah. I don't care about fighting Davy Jones for like the second time. And to be honest with you, I feel like this could have been a different world completely. If we were just going to go different worlds, let's just go different worlds.
Facts, absolutely.
Also, like this is why I mentioned before with the thing about things I would have wished I had it in. Why are we not fighting the actual villains? Like, since when did we just stop fighting the villains of series?
Like, yeah, what happened to all the Final Fantasy characters? Well, I mean, they came in the DLC, but like, why should I pay for a DLC for certain characters that were already in the game?
Well, like for example, for like comes to Kingdom Hearts issue, I like Kingdom Hearts. I actually think a lot of the reviews for Kingdom Hearts are a little overblown. Like, is the game piss easy? Sure. Are you playing it on like critical mode though too? I didn't myself, but like, are you playing it
I play on proud mode.
Okay, you play on proud. Okay.
Yeah, back in the day, playing on proud mode gave you extra endings and stuff like that.
Right, which I think is really cool. Now, if I'm not playing it on proud mode and I'm playing it and I find it easy, then that is a good indication that maybe you need to turn the difficulty up. You know, especially if you're playing on normal and I'm finding it easy, then maybe I need to turn the difficulty up. I also I think there is a bit of a difficulty spike that comes in, especially during when you're fighting the other Kingdom Hearts, like the other Kingdom Key people. Like,
oh yeah,
I think that's when the difficulty definitely spikes, but that's a long time to go through. Yeah. I think also, like, this is what I meant earlier, the fact of not being able to fight villains by only having to fight Heartless. Like, if I have to fight the Wolf Heartless, that Wolf Heartless, in my opinion, should have been controlled by Hans. Buzz Lightyear should have been a fight.
Absolutely.
Hype up a fight between, like, bro. I don't think I mean, I was not the first one in there, and maybe other people will who come in chat later on will also agree with me on this. There is no way you're going to give me a potential fight with Buzz fucking Lightyear controlled by Heartless, and then you just bounce because Woody just gives like a "hold on, I'm about to cook" speech.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I'm here for a good Woody speech, like anyone else, because I grew up on Toy Story. But they didn't have to blue ball us like that, because I was getting ready.
They blue ball the hell out of us. Well, and I don't know if you got this part or not, but remember when you had to fight the doll?
Yeah,
and the doll's possessed, and the doll's just laying there. There's a really interesting piece of lore. There's like, does not every toy are able to actually move? Like, are some toys actually just lifeless?
Yeah, that's a good question. I like this. I like that idea.
Yeah, I thought that was super interesting. Like, that was a piece of lore that I don't think is canon, but I was like, damn, that is true. If not every toy is able to move, then what is the credentials of these toys being able to move? Like, what is the reason for this? And I was
like, do they have a heart? Do they not? Like, it runs very well for the Kingdom Hearts lore in general. So that was definitely a great idea.
That's a whole story for just a whole movie. That's a story for a movie in itself.
Yeah,
learning about. I was like, damn, could you imagine them going to one and finding they're all just none moving, and why aren't they moving? That was so cool, and I thought that was awesome, but they never did anything with it. It's the same with like Tangled. Tangled was kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie. Tangled was kind of boring. But like, was the boss fight cool? Sure. I kind of
the boss fight was fun.
I wish the Heartless would have been her turning into the Heartless and becoming that. Like
Yeah.
that would have made
That would
it
be
more
nice to see her
interesting.
hair used in a villainous way versus
It's
what we normally get.
it's a sense of like agency for the villain to be able to make the choice to become it, because we saw this in Kingdom Hearts 1 when they would choose to access the Wield the Heartless.
Yeah.
They chose to wield the Heartless and they chose whatever they got out of it. It's literally the Seal of Ori Calicos Disney version.
Yeah.
So like, it's so I'm like, okay, cool, but we don't necessarily get that in there, and so like it kind of bummed me out. We're just fighting Heartless, like although the Evil Baymax was actually a really interesting thing.
Yeah. The Evil Baymax was cool, although I wanted more from San Tokyo. It felt a little too empty
Yeah,
for
I
it to
did.
be a metropolis. It felt very empty. But I did like the idea. It probably sounded good on paper. Well, of course, that idea sounds great on paper. Evil Baymax is always fun. I even
Well,
enjoyed
they
that in the
even
movie.
mentioned that like there was the original chip for Baymax or whatever, and then the
Yeah,
Baymax
that's
that we
right.
see in the movie, I believe, is the second Baymax.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean that part I thought was actually really cool. But like and that's what I'm saying. Like there's no such thing as a 0 out of 10 game. There might be just a game that you disagree with, but I really don't believe there's a 0 out of 10. I can't, me personally, I just cannot get down with the fact that there's just a 0 out of 10 game. I don't believe there's any 0 out of 10 games. Yes, even Cyberpunk 2077 on launch was not a 0 out of 10, because if you had a PS5 or an Xbox Series X or I think a PC too, you were doing better than you were with like the backwards compatibility. So
yeah,
no, it
that's
was not
true.
a zero
I
out of
know
10.
it was buggy as all hell, but
It was,
there was
but it
still
wasn't
some people
believable.
enjoying the game.
Yep. And so
Yeah,
that's why I just think there's no way you can have a 0 out of 10 game. I don't believe it. Um, it just doesn't make sense to me. And that's why I like when it comes to people's reviews of them, because like I said, I think you should be able to articulate views, and your reviews should always be based in game itself. I actually don't like a lot of realistic graphics. Those are something that is going to be always be a bias when I come into reviews. I do love though is a really cool art style. I'm playing
yeah,
Reloaded right now. I started playing Reloaded, and that game has a really cool art style. Not King Hearts. Prince of Persia, fantastic art style. The new one, the Crown. So like
yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
is it the Crown? Forgotten Crown, Forbidden Crown.
Something like that.
But like,
I haven't played it for myself yet.
yeah,
I haven't played a
I just
Prince of
can't think
Persia
of it at
game
the
in a
moment.
while, honestly.
Like the only game that I would, I don't even give bad scores. I just give, and that's why I like giving like, is this game for me? Is this game not for me? Is this game something
Yeah, that's how the review
five?
should be. Is it for me or is it not for me? If you're looking for action adventure, it's probably for you. If you're looking for something that you can turn your brain off and just play and just go ahead and play after work, there you go. That's what it's for.
Well, and yeah, and exactly. And I think that's like where it comes to like the opinion of who's actually doing it. Like we mentioned before, if you're, this is not a hot take. This is not a hot take because this
Yeah,
is
no.
literally everything in life. If you are a person who only plays like just sports games and you don't play anything else, then no, I don't want to hear your opinion on Final Fantasy games. If you are a person who only plays RPGs and are like, I don't care about sports games, I don't want to hear your fucking opinion about how much you don't like sports games.
Yeah.
Like, as a person who plays them, I could give a fuck less about your opinion. We mentioned before we started talking. I've said before, I can't stand, like, obviously I don't like ball and gun gamers that want to talk about things outside of like just ball and gun because they have when they have no clue about it. But as such, I can't stand people who don't play games like sports games or any kind of ball and gun game and want to talk like they're instantly better because they do. I don't feel like that's also correct. And I also don't want to hear your fucking opinion on Rainbow Six Siege if you don't ever play Rainbow Six Siege and the only thing you ever play is like Kingdom Hearts.
Right. Like get rid of that elitist attitude. There's no room for that here. Like
it all stems from an elitist attitude. Yeah.
Yeah. And for what? Like who benefits? I'm sure I ain't getting paid for that. Like like we're not getting paid for this. If anything, we're spending money to play these games. If ball and gun games is where you're at, okay, cool. Stay in your lane. Myself personally, I like to jump around a little bit. I can get down in some Call of Duty and in the same breath turn it off and hop on some Zelda, or turn that off and hop on Final Fantasy. I can I'm versatile like that, and I don't expect everybody else to be versatile. However, though, again, like I'm always open for new ideas and everything like that. So if a person who played nothing but ball and gun games decides to dip their toes into an adventure game and they actually put like 20 hours plus, you know what I'm saying? Just throwing out a number,
Yeah,
20
no,
hours plus.
you do.
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, I'll be interested in what you got to say, see how you liked it or whatnot. But a person who just but if they're smug about it, because I fucking hate smug. Like if they're smug about it, it's
Yeah,
like,
I can't
nah,
stand.
shut up. Oh, this game too woke. No, bitch, you need to take a nap.
Well,
So
yeah, it's like it's like you play you because I'll be like you play college football. Yeah, I like college football games. So like
yeah,
you don't play anything else. No, I play a bunch of shit. Like I play a bunch of shit, and I expect to. But like that's the thing. Like when people try to talk, like, they'll try to talk Final Fantasy to me, and I've said before, when I am in a live, and y'all start talking Final Fantasy, I zone out. Like
yeah, that's right.
I
You do zone out.
straight up zone out. I have no interest in Final Fantasy, except
Sacrilege.
I've gone through 2 games. I will finish Final Fantasy 16. I just haven't gotten to it yet, but I will finish Final Fantasy
Same
16.
here.
And I still need to finish 13.1. Right? I played 13.1, haven't finished 13.1. That's fine. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with people not really giving a shit about the fact that I don't like those games. But I'm also not going to talk about them like I do. And because
Right.
I don't want one, I'm not gonna lie. If you ever seen someone try to talk about a game that they don't, and they get fucking outed so quick.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Oh
boy.
yeah, there's been plenty of people, and I don't understand. I still, I mean, granted, it's elitism, but at the same time, like I don't understand the romanticizing this idea that you have to know about. If you don't know about it, just say so. It's not a big deal.
Mm.
Like that's why you have people like me. I consider myself a Zelda acolyte. If you don't know nothing about Zelda, I'll be happy to talk to you for hours about Zelda to get you down with the timeline and everything like that. But like for example, like myself personally, I don't. There's plenty of games out there I don't know about. You know, I'm only one guy,
That
and
being
I'm a
said,
dad now, full time. So I
Zelda's
got.
the hook shot in Ocarina of Time should have been shouldn't be stun. It should be a full weapon. I'm sorry. If I'm
I
launching
agree.
if I'm launching a metal spear that heavily, that should have went through Ganon. Like there's no way
See,
you can tell me that the slashing damage, right, or like a thrust from the Master Sword is more than the equivalent of firing like a shotgun through piercing into
well, you
a
see,
wall.
Link, he's already like strong as hell, and we're talking about a dude who's now we're talking about before he got the silver or the golden gauntlets on. This dude is already so his swing is
Can you
already
imagine
ridiculous.
if they would have knocked the Master Sword out and Link just turns up and he's like, "I'm right, I'm left, I'm left." Look at that.
Yo, so my homeboy, I got a homeboy, I call him Duck. He swears up and down Link ain't got hands, and I keep making an
Wait,
argument for it,
wait, wait, wait,
but
wait, 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 wait. We're
until
talking about which Link, because I'm like, you have either Golden Gauntlet Link, which literally just went her in like bad posture position, lifted like a fucking column,
man,
or you got like what is it? Twilight Princess Link that was sumoing Gorons.
yeah, I'm just
What do you
saying.
mean this nigga don't got hands?
This dude, man, I do need a Zelda game where they just allow me to just
Dude,
to just throw hands. I
I
need a
want them to do
Zelda
it in
game where I can just
The
throw
God of War
hands.
format and allow me to just go hands.
Yes,
Like
because like that dude is way too strong not to punch something into dust. I'm just saying. Like there was this old school. I don't know if he still does it, but this science dude who does the science of these characters and whatnot, and he did
was
one
it game
for
theory?
Link, huh?
Was it game theory?
No, not game theory. Not
No.
game theory. I'll find it later. I'll send it to you.
Sounds
But
good.
he went into the science of Link and his strength and everything. It's freaking ridiculous. Like
Oh, I bet you it is. I bet you it is.
he's all strong as base Hulk. It's like it's not even fair.
Link is so ridiculously strong. And I don't think people recognize it because they're like, no, look at him. He's this twink. And I was like, dude, this twink was just picking up fucking rocks and running like this with them.
Yeah.
Like, it's as a kid, he picked up like a whole other kid, probably roughly his own, like around his own size.
like it was
And Princess
nothing.
Ruto and just ran with her like this with like no stamina fatigue at all.
None,
No,
and was tossing her all over the
he
place into
tossed her
different
into
jellyfishes. So I know
enemies.
I did
He
that.
tossed her into enemies and would kill them. Like
Yeah,
that's crazy. I'm sorry. There's no way that you're gonna sit there and tell me that that Link is like this like weak character. He's so
no,
not weak.
that's he country fed for real. Like this boy grew up in like Ocarina of Time. He grew up in the forest. Freaking Twilight Princess. He grew up on a farm.
Didn't
Like what are
he
we talking about here?
so there was I remember there was always the theory, and I don't like getting into theories when it comes to Legend of Zelda because those are fucking rabbit holes. But like there is that didn't it say like Ocarina of Time version he ended up with Malon?
Yeah, that's not a theory. That's fact.
Oh, that is canon?
Yeah, there's canon,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's
So he
also
ended up
canon that he's related to that Twilight Princess Link is related to Ocarina of Time Link.
yes, yes.
Like it's
I
one
knew
of the
that
few
one. It
that's
was
actually like related to each other.
yep, I knew that one. It was like 100 years later.
Yeah,
He's like because he's Shade later on.
yeah,
And
which
so
is
I've seen
so freaking sad and
there's a really
badass at the
good
same time.
there's anime. I don't know if it's a fan one or not. And it shows Shade and he sees Zelda from Twilight Princess and he's like, he's like, you're Princess Zelda, but you're not my Zelda. And
Man,
she goes, I apologize for being not being your visage. And he's like, no need to apologize. I'm just glad to see the like more companions in this era. And I was just like, oh, oh,
tears,
damn.
tears.
Because I like
Yo, the
let me
manga for
in,
for Twilight Princess is absolutely amazing. I encourage you and anybody else that's interested to pick that up. I
yeah.
absolutely love the manga. It's
Well,
on
that's
point.
why I think when it comes to like when I see Link and like even I loved it in Breath of the Wild when they gave this reason why he's like I don't talk. There's no reason. Like
Yeah,
I don't give a reason. I don't really need to say anything. Now, do I wish he still would have towards the end? Yes. I kind of wish that he would show that he can talk. He makes the choice not to.
Actually, okay, so the whole reason why he in Breath of the Wild when he first started with Master Sword and became the bodyguard for Zelda, that's when he stopped. That's when he stopped socializing as much as he did. And
Okay.
then, of course, the 100 years he was knocked out for 100 years, came back. And so, which is the same reasoning for all the other Zelda games that he don't talk. He actually does talk a lot. It's just they keep him silent for us to use our imaginations to be in his position.
That's fair. Well, I know that they do like because I know like in Ocarina of Time they did the dot 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 dot, which means that's him talking.
Yeah,
Like I believe that was him talking, and
yeah.
so
And in
and
Twilight Princess, when you click on like when they're first teaching you how to then during the when they're teaching you how to do everything and you Z target one of the people that's actually teaching you how to Z target, they're like, oh, that's that strong voice that I'm used to, but he didn't say anything. But the
Mhm.
Z target was enough. It would basically represent him getting the person's attention, like, hey, I'm here, blah blah blah. So
Okay,
yeah,
that makes sense.
I
Yeah,
thought that was really creative.
I
So
don't mind
everybody
the fact
take him
that
as this quiet, stoic guy, but Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess, he actually talks a lot.
well, and that's what I've always. That's one of the reasons I like him though too. Is even though you don't hear him talk, he's also extremely express. He has a lot of expressions.
Oh yeah,
Like and so his expressions, he's thoughtful. You've seen him with like, for example, when he was with Mifa, in Breath
yeah.
of the Wild, and we saw that he had this softer side to him. We see that with Zelda. Like, and I like seeing this soft version of a character that has he like when it's time to lock in, this motherfucker lock in.
Yeah.
Like when it's time to lock in, he don't mess around. I mean, you think about the Link's accomplishments throughout like the games and stuff, like and throughout the different iterations, and that's the one thing that's always been true. When it's time to lock in, it don't matter.
Yeah,
Like he just
he
okay.
locks the hell in, especially which I absolutely love. Um, freaking Toon Link, like that boy, he had no type of regard, like he had no type of connection to the past links at all. Not even to the royal family. And this dude, his sister got kidnapped. He was woken up when he didn't want to wake up, even though it's his birthday. They're like, okay, everybody got to go. And he went and
Everybody's
he
like,
had no business.
no, true though. Everyone gotta go, and I love that. And I think that's what makes like Link super interesting, as well as just the fact that no matter the era, he's always the same. No matter what iteration, he's always the same. And
Yeah, that
I
spirit of the
always,
hero.
yep, he is the spirit of the hero. And it's just no matter what, just like with Zelda, Zelda takes it's different because Zelda takes different form. I love it's gonna sound so crazy. I love that like the in the Toon Zelda. I love the kind of brattier Zelda. I do. I love
Yeah.
this fact of she's not. I don't think she's like super. They're not old. They're still kids.
Yeah,
I
they're
mean,
like,
so like she
ooh.
has this kind of entitled attitude, and I'm just like, yeah, I like this. Like I
Yeah, I
like
mean, she was a
seeing.
pirate captain, so she's taking what she wants to give nothing back. You know that type of attitude as a pirate captain at a young age. So that says a lot right there. And like having her own crew, so she's bossing them around, not used to people telling her no. And then here come this kid with
Well,
the
yep. And we see that with like Phantom Hourglass. We see that in Spirit Tracks. Like we see a Zelda
yeah,
that's not like she's not like the Twilight Princess version, who's has
yeah,
this lot of grace to her. She's kind of just, and I like even in Breath of the Wild, we still see a Zelda that's still a little like, why are you following me? I don't need you, whatever. And then
have you read their diaries?
isn't that where the Yiga shows up too? And
Yeah,
then yeah, and she's the and Link saves. I believe it's Link that saves her.
yeah. Link
Um,
Link saves her, and that's when she started looking at Link a little different and everything.
like
But
maybe I
to your
shouldn't.
point, she gets down and dirty. I like that.
Yeah,
Like
I
she
love
ain't
the fact.
afraid to get her hands dirty. That's why I love Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, because like she's the main character you get to, which it's unfortunate, but we should have had a Zelda led game a long ass time ago.
Yeah, I know. I don't. You know what? We got this, and I liked how the fact that her, because I've only seen from what I've watched, right? And I like the fact that they have her using more of like puzzles and more of her mind and stuff, because
Yeah.
she's. I mean, I don't believe Zelda is not like a bruiser like Link is, and it makes sense that they would be very very different from each other. If anything, Ganondorf is the combination between the two.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
like and so like when I look at Zelda and I watch the way that she fights and stuff, and that she uses the the clones of other characters and stuff like that, I think that's really cool. Like I think
Yeah.
that's interesting, and the different variants of Link and stuff too that we get to see along the way. Same with the Link, the difference of his villains. I mean, the
Yeah.
villains that he takes are, yes, they're always like end of the world shit, but they're always interesting. Like I think one of my most interesting, I think it comes down is Zant. I love
I
Zant.
knew you were going to say that.
I think
I knew
Zant was
Zant
such
was
an
an interesting character. Like he had definitely had a lot of energy.
he had
um
this a lot of energy, but then at the same time, when you realize that he's actually being controlled by Ganon,
yeah.
like, and I believe, if I remember, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, he like at the time legitimately did not want evil for his people.
No, he didn't, but but with Ganondorf being sent back into the mirror dimension or whatnot, and like all that evil, it just like there was already being corrupted and everything, so he just fell to
Mhm.
corruption,
Well,
and then
that
Ganondorf
made
further
sense.
corrupting them.
And that made sense to it, because I don't believe, because Zant is not Midna's the real ruler of Twilight.
Yeah,
Zant was not. Um, and I always thought that like Zant was such an interesting one, because yeah, when the I mean, no offense, but like when the mask comes off and we just watching this over the top wild whatever, it gives a lot of feeling of Skull Kid. Like
yeah, no,
when he
you're absolutely correct, but in this case, despite the, I mean, good intentions is paved way to hell, but like this dude revert to Ganondorf as a god, like so
to be
he.
fair, do you blame them? Like, I mean,
No, I don't
the
blame him at all.
superior
Like the
for a lot
Triforce
of
of Power
people.
trusted, like what, like went to. There's still no explanation for how he got the Triforce of Power. In Ocarina of Time, he got it because he was he had an evil heart. Touching the Triforce, it broke into the three pieces where it
Yep.
went to the various different people. Twilight Princess, there is no explanation. They executed him, and Triforce Power was like, nah.
No, the Triforce, and I think it's one of the things where the Triforce needed to step in, because we can't. The problem, I think, the problem that they have is that they can't have the other two without the one. And
Yeah,
so, since Link already at this point seems to already have it, or Zelda, at least we know at this point, already has wisdom. So, like, it just happened to show up, that power that Ganondorf got, killed the Water Sage, and then got launched in, which I was like, when he ripped that chain out, and I was like, okay, this is the game that like I've been waiting for.
Yeah,
I
I was like,
love
oh,
this.
this is dark.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
this is dark.
And so, and that's why like when I was writing like a fan fiction of it too.
Nice.
Going through and it was called like Secret of the Royal Family. And
Oh
it's basically
man, that's funny.
so it basically the whole thing was going to start off, it starts off, I should say, with them going through the Shadow Temple.
Ooh,
Going through
so
it
much history in
combines a
that Shadow
lot of
Temple.
different areas from it, so like they're
Yeah.
all in different sections. So like they go through the Shadow Temple, and like Zelda's whole thing is like, I need to find, like, she's kind of like freaked out, the only one because it's the fucking Shadow Temple, but like
Yeah.
the fact that this is where my family put people, like what is going on? Like I need to be able to restore my family's name. And so they end up fighting a wall master.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome.
that one, yeah. So they go into this room and it's dark, and the only thing is in there is this big light in the circle in the center. And when they go in, that's when the wall master drops. And you're looking like a monstrous sized wall master.
Wow.
And like they have to fight it, but the problem is that it doesn't fight them in the dark. So if you leave that light, it disappears. It goes right back up.
See, that's the beauty of the Shadow Temple. There's so much lore in the Shadow Temple alone. You can get away with making a trilogy game out of that by itself.
It was fun, bro. Like I did this whole thing where
that's awesome.
It takes place. It's the Breath of the Wild characters, but they
do take
place in certain areas of it. So like they go to the Shadow Temple, because the Shadow Temple was after like all the changing and all that stuff. They go to this area where would have been, I guess, to the Shadow Temple, but after they beat it, because they can't beat it in any other way. They have to beat it with, there's a seal on it that still has the malice, so it's still filled with malice. And they have to stop that. They get the shield, and they do about it. But I had it that like Zelda launches like an arrow, and like she launches the arrow at Link, and Link reflects the arrow back into where the palm where the seal is.
Oh,
and so yeah, and so I wrote like several ones.
That is all, bro. Like, that is so freaking.
So like
awesome.
After that, they go into this area which they find out is the Temple of Time, and so that's why I said it's all over. But it's like the Temple of Time where the sages, and so what's in there they've been looking for was it Ramus? I think his name is, and he was one of the sages, right?
Oh yeah, freaking basically it was the Great Wise Owl in sage form, but yeah.
And so what happens is that Wizrobe is there. Oh. And Wizrobe ends up basically like he captures both of them and pins them down, and is able to start infecting them by opening the gates of the sacred temple, which would open the gate of the Triforce of Power. So the Triforce of Power leaks into both of them. Oh, and so it ends up, but what happens is that when all of a sudden a character shows up and they're wearing Sheikah clothing, and so saves them both. And so when they get saved, they're on this like they're on towards on this like beach, almost this beach area. When they wake, they both come to. And Link comes to second after Zelda's like already up and stuff.
Yeah, Link, he likes to sleep.
They're like, who are you? And he says, he takes off his robe. He's blonde, has blonde hair, blue. He's like, my name's Sheik. And he's like, he's like, you're Princess Zelda, right? And she's like, yes. He's like, I am the son of the royal family.
Oh,
and
that is man. Yeah, that gives me Link to the Past vibes for it. Well, no, not Link to the Past. The original Legend of Zelda game. Legend of Zelda.
Yeah. So
when
I've been
brother.
man. I moved it forward where the group of them gets so they get like saved by them. They start recuperating. She's seeing that there's a village of just Sheikahs. Like this, he almost like rebuilt a village of people who are outcasts.
Oh, that's so bad.
Of the royal family kicked them out. They were like people who didn't agree with the royal family, and so he created this whole thing of Sheikahs.
That makes
But he calls
sense.
it reviving the Sheikahs again.
Yeah.
And so they all have the sign of the Sheikah, but not all of them. Some of them are just family members, whatever. And all of a sudden, a bunch of Moblins show up. And the Moblins show up, and like first it's Zelda, and Zelda's like looking like it's just her standing there because Link and Sheik go off for a second. And she's standing there, and she gets this voice in her head telling her to use it. Like you can take these. They're nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she's getting there, and like as she's staring, her eyes turn this like kind of like malice red, and as she wants to defend these people from the Moblins. And so that's when Link and them show up. But I did have one where I wrote one. This is actually the first one I wrote was actually when they're going into the woods and they're into the forest, the Deku forest. Like I said, it's all over. I got to let people know so like someone doesn't come in and like that doesn't make sense. But like they go into the Deku
It's fiction,
forest,
people. It's fanfic. It's fanfic.
they hear this ruffling around Epona. And they're like, what the hell? And so Link goes in to go check the bag, and he gets bit by a Skullita.
Oh.
And he's like, holy shit. And he falls over, and he starts getting poisoned. At that point, you start seeing like they get rid of the one, and all of a sudden they look and they start seeing multiple Skullita start coming from the trees.
Oh, terrifying.
And so they're coming in. Zelda's trying her best, trying to get Link to move. She can't get it. And at this point, they're like, he's like, her heart starts to pump. And her hair, which is like this, kind of shorter. It's like that shoulder length, almost like shoulder length. Gets long, and it starts to go longer, and it starts turning red.
Oh.
And at that point, she is able to use she uses like a bow with like a bow and arrow, like using the light arrows. And at this point, she pulls out, which is like a bow again. But this time, when she starts building it, it's just a bow, an arrow of pure malice, and all the Skallitas back away. And so they all back away, and they like. One of them starts to go, and she just looks at it, and at that point it just explodes.
Okay.
And so
it sounds like some Demise is trying to take control or something. This
Demise,
is awesome.
Yes, Demise is trying to basically become like, it's like, if I can merge these, then all of us together will be the Triforce.
Oh,
so he doesn't have them. And I also had it too that that was a different story. That was actually a story that got me into it. But I had a story about when they fight what do they call a Darknut, and I had a really fun story with that where Link has to fight a Darknut, and it's in Hyrule. It's in the Hyrule temple. It's on the courtyards.
Okay,
and the Darknut's just standing there, and so they go to fight, and one hit from the Darknut is enough to it damages Link's whole arm. Like he blocks it, but he's enough where it's like it hurts. And so she's constantly trying to block the attacks from the Darknut. They finally are able to beat it. But when they beat it by doing the same thing, where Zelda fires an arrow of light, gets a distraction, fires an arrow of light, goes through its chest, and Link reflects the arrow back and pierces through the other side of its chest, and the arrow just disappears right before it gets to Zelda. And she's cool. Like happy, and and all you see from the Darknut, you hear, she's like, I'm glad you're okay. And Zelda's eyes get huge, and like the helmet falls, and it's one of the Hyrule soldiers. It was a guard. Oh. It was a guard from like a guard now, but when he was a child, he was a friend of Zelda's. Oh, and he made this promise. They always had this joke where he was like, "I'll promise to protect you forever." When they were kids, and Zelda goes sprinting over to him, and he's just like, "I'm just glad that you made it." Like I was able to see you one more time. And he's like, I'm sorry I couldn't live through that promise. And Link is just kind of staring. Zelda's like, he's like, well, you're going to be okay. And he's like, no, I'm not. He's like, save Hyrule. But that was what caused me to actually just start to write like a full story thing on there. So like, awesome, for example, I did was after the events of like what I mentioned before with the Moblins.
Yeah.
Link and Zelda actually end up leaving the village. And she kind of watches, and he walks into this hut, and he's like, he hears this bickering between these two women, and he's like, enough. He's like, but like he's like, Zelda, and she's like, I can't believe it. Like I should get to meet her. you know, and they're like, oh, did this change your your thought, you know what I mean? And he's like,
Yeah.
no, these like the royal family must be exposed for what they are. They're murderers. And so they're
That's
like,
awesome.
that's good. And he's like, can you, he's like, I need to finish my training with both of you. He's like, Master Kotake and Kuome. And so
Yo, Nintendo tripping. They need to hire you, bro. Because
yeah, yeah. So like right
I'm
now,
all in right now.
so right now I was reading one. I'm doing one right now where they end up meeting they Lincoln's all to get off track through going back, and they get through going trying to through the forest. This is where I can lead into that forest stuff. But right now,
Yeah.
what they got caught is they're meeting these two goons. They're two like traveling birdman named Kapora and his Deku Scrub
Kapora,
assistant named
yeah.
Kapora.
Oh man.
And so
Yo,
these two
I
are like, these
this
two
is
are
this is
yeah.
some fantastic stuff. Like the story I wrote was like it takes place in the future. And like the basically it somehow like reaches Earth and um the hero is awakened when like in school or whatnot. Of course it's me. But
Of
yeah,
course it's
it's
me.
lame compared to your story. Like, holy crap! Like, I'm so invested right now. I need more.
I'll send you because I'm gonna rewrite them all. I'm probably gonna rewrite them in screenplay format because I find that more interesting. And it's also a little bit easier for me to write.
I feel that. I feel that. Yeah, like my story is like it takes place in the future, and the sage, and like it's so you got all the different sages, but you have the sage of truth. That's the added sage that's to there, which was the representation of my twin brother.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm an identical twin.
Oh no.
The sage of truth, and basically his like the lens of truth that you found in the shadow temple. Well,
Mm,
yeah, well under the well, basically like a portion of the shadow temple Ocarina of Time. He's actually like his character, well, the spirit of the sage of the truth is responsible for creating that. And like basically Ganondorf is awakened in some dude in the future as well, and well through demise. And the whole ordeal was to get that sage of truth, the truth lens or whatnot, and to awaken the big serpent that's within the Judeo-Christian Bible and everything. Yeah, it gets weird.
damn, yeah, dude. Like,
Oh, it gets weird. But you know, power, courage, and wisdom in order to be able to the in order to be able to wield that, one have to wield it with truth. So yeah.
that's fair. No, and that's why like yeah, that's why like I love like seeing like people's like stories that they can come up with. And that's why like when I did the Legend of Zelda one, it just felt it was just to like recreate bosses and like and enemies into different styles that
Oh
like
yeah.
could work. And I always felt like I had one of them with I was working on that I stopped. That was about the Dino Foals and the Liz Foals. Um, Wizrobe was probably one of the more interesting ones because I feel like him being a sub boss or a sub like antagonist is definitely interesting.
Absolutely.
Because like so I have it is that how Zelda can is the Twilight of wisdom, right? And
Hmm.
to be honest, that's what the king was hoping for. The king and queen were hoping that Zelda would be the you know was the recreation of the goddess Hylia, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Reincarnation. And when they had a son, they realized that this isn't it. So they hid him. And it was actually it was Impa that actually took him.
See, and
Um,
I was going to ask about Impa
yeah,
because it like in
it
my
was
head it makes
yeah,
sense that she would know about all that but won't say nothing,
yes, it
and
was
then things get
Impa
a
that
little
took
more
him.
complicated because she's the Sage of Shadow anyway.
And so she had to
Yeah,
pretty much lie to this kid and
that
to
makes
be like
sense.
no. And so um when he finds the truth out, and he's pissed because he's like I like why didn't you care about me, you know, why did you have to send me away, why did you not care? And so I have this whole clip of that's pretty much his goal. He wants to expose the entire family as what they were,
You
is
know
just
that makes sense too, though, given his actual background in the game series of how he was after a Triforce of Wisdom for himself, but because it was to Zelda, he was jealous of her and had the wizard put her to sleep, and so her never waking up, he made a decree that every woman born, every was it oldest woman, I don't think that was really quite specific with, but every woman born is named Zelda, and
Oh,
that's how that
yeah.
her name was passed down through the years.
And that's what like
Hello, little one.
I love the fact of it, the fact
Hold on,
of
hold on.
having. Oh, you could,
Yeah, my little
having.
one just woke up.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and I love the whole concept too of like at one point I have it is that, and this is where I'm kind of working on it, but it's in my head, so it's in the concept phase. But like of them exposing the truth of it, he's like, but I am your rightful king, the one who's supposed to be here, because he can't use the power like the Triforce of Wisdom and Courage. However, if he is in contact with one, then he can. And that's why he was able to teleport them out, because he was holding on to Link and Zelda and was able to use their ability to do that. So the truth is that what he's really after is where he feels like he needs to be, which is the Triforce of Power. And if I can get that, then maybe, just maybe, the royal family will actually care about me. And
wow, that's really good. And you can like oh man, you can have it where either Ganondorf, well, I guess Ganondorf is demise, but you can have him whispering in his ear the whole time too, making shit worse. But
No, exactly.
to be fair though, I think Ganondorf is like kind of overused. It would be nice to see a new villain.
Well, and that's what like, I
But
like the
still keep him
fact
in the background though. But that's my
yeah,
biasness talking.
I like the fact of like this could be a way for them to purge Ganondorf forever. But like Link and Zelda both are at this point where it's actually Zelda who is like a bit struggling, because when things start to get scared, like she can't use her light arrow. She has to be within like almost like a sense of self in order to use the light arrow. She can't just use it whenever. So when she fights the
Right,
wall
she has
master,
to use it with wisdom.
she sees the wall masters crawling at her. The light arrow actually does it, kind of almost like fritzes out and it stops working.
Wow.
And because she has to be able to be in like a certain kind of mind in order. She got to lock in.
Yeah, she got wielded with wisdom. She just can't do it willy-nilly. I like that.
When she does, yeah, like I had it was at the arrow, like she doesn't, and I think my master's up too, and when she doesn't, when she's under the effect of demise, she doesn't need the arrow. Like she doesn't need the bow. She can just conjure the arrow and then just launch it. And at that point, and like it's an all tap of magic. However, when Link starts becoming of it, he gets the physical side of Ganondorf. So like when he's fighting at one, like I had him like I probably have the moment, like let's say he's fighting like a Goron, and he just grabs the Goron and just throws him, and is just able to keep on walking.
Damn.
You know what I mean? And like there's like at one point I had it is that I give him the old like one character comes up and punches him in the face, and you just see his eyes just move over, and it's just like they're like holy God, you know what I mean? Like what has happened? So yeah, I have this whole back and forth with them, and there's a big like moment of like they both like Zelda really does like Link, she really does love him. She just hasn't ever been able to fully say it. And
will they? Won't they?
Yes, it's like a very but like, and she also knows Link's plight. She knows that he's going to be on guard. She knows that if I tell him, he's probably going to want to do stuff differently, and I don't want to ruin that for him.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's awesome. I like that.
But I know like you got your your kiddo and all that stuff, so we can actually wrap this one up. We've been over an hour, which is usually what the length of it.
Okay.
For anybody else, let them know where can they find you at.
Oh well, for those who's interested, you can find me on TikTok, Lazy Nerd. My Instagram and Facebook is private, but I will come up with some public pages for that coming soon. But for now, on TikTok, Lazy Nerd 86. Nice. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries.
This has definitely been a pleasure.
And for me as well, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all those good places you can find me at Afrofish OG, as always. Alrighty, man. Like I said, I appreciate you being here as always. Be sure to stay tuned when we got more Afro on the Know coming up in the near future. And as always, I'm Taylor from Afrofish OG, and I'll catch you all in the next one.